Now I want to explain how to turn the amplifier on. Amplifier 1 is connected to the force plate in the front, and the second amplifier is connected to the force plate in the back. There are two buttons in the back side of these two amplifiers. By pressing these two buttons, you can turn the amplifiers on. When you do this, the lights will be on in the front. As you can see here, we have 4 switches. The first switch needs to be always down. The second and third switch is for changing the sensitivity of the amplifier by turning them to the right and left. As you can see, the sensitivity of amplifier can be changed. And the last switch is for resetting the amplifier. Make sure this light is always on operate 1. It is normal to have drift in your force plate data with our current system. To minimize such a drift, we recommend you to turn them on 1 day before your real measurement so they have enough time for warming up. Shorter warming up might be sufficient. It depends on how much drift is acceptable in your measurement. We will come back to the drift later in another video. Let's have some initial signal check. For this, double click on Force WM software and select the folder. Let's go to analog input channel, and we have two options, force plate 1 and force plate 2 display. Let's go, for example, to the force plate 2 display. And if you click on the start button, you see a bug in our software. Just press OK and ignore such a bug. You see the signal. Because of the drift, we have some offset in our signal. By resetting the amplifier, we can remove such an offset. For this, let's unlock the signal. And now if I bring this down, this offset will be reset. To have a better overview of our signal, we can change the range. For this, we can go here and change the format from scientific to decimal. Let's double click on this number and change it to 12, and this number to -12. Now we have a better overview of the signal. Now if I step on force plate 2, you see the signal change. But if I step on force plate 1, nothing happened. Next step is to select the appropriate amplifier sensitivity. We have 4 ranges of sensitivity. The higher range, the higher forces can be measured, but with more noise. Therefore, we need to select the range as low as possible. But at the same time, the signal should stay between ±10 volt. Otherwise, we will have clipping in our signal. For most of the human movement science research, the second range is the most appropriate range. But of course, if you have a high impact on the force plate, you can go to the third range. Now let's see if we have an appropriate range for our experimental task. For this, let's go back to FBWM software. Let's select our folder and let's go to experiment menu and do the measurement. Now I want to do 2 things. One is just simply walk on the force plate, and the second one I want to, with a high impact, land on the force plate. If I stop the measurement with clicking on the collect data button, you will see the force plate feedback window. If I go to format and change the format from scientific to decimal, and we can zoom in our data. As you can see here, when I, with a high impact, land on the force plate, you see the clipping in the signal. This means that the range that we chose is not appropriate for our experimental task. So we have to go to a higher range.